We are engaged.
Sweet.
It's going to be a beautiful wedding.
Oh, because you said we are engaged.
Yeah. That's what
engaged as in live online. Not
live
that we
online.
have big news to break to Katie and Kristen.
Nope, no.
They would not be as surprised as I would like them to be.
I think they would be quite shocked, actually. Hello, everybody. Good morning. Good morning.
Turn my fan on. It's already heating up in here.
I'm gonna do the same. I'm just making posts. Hello, hi, welcome, everyone. It's good to see you all. Thank you for respecting and appreciating my day off yesterday. I hope you all had fun with Garrett. I was out of town.
Whoa. Hold up.
What?
Hold up. Don't go spreading misinformation that people respected your day off. All right?
Well, no, you
all
thank
right, you're
them.
making bold assumptions.
You thank them
people
for what
were in
you want.
shambles. They were furious.
You tell them what they want to believe, you know? So that they're like, that's nice. I guess I was pretty respectful. No, we were.
You can't tell me what I want to believe.
I was on a 4-day trip, and the kids were feral to see Dad. So I spent all yesterday doing a couple little work things during nap time, but ultimately sitting on the floor playing Legos, and that's what was needed of me yesterday.
As one does. I'm making go live tweets, so
the same.
You know. Don't expect too much. Don't expect too much from me in the next few minutes. Oh.
It was terrible. Oh no, oh god, it was awful. I did see you played a bit of Vampire Survivor on stream. I want to talk to you about that on the podcast.
Okay. Of course we will talk about that. Oh my word. Oh God.
I'm hitting my fan now.
Oh, well, there he goes. He's gone. What fresh hell? What is happening with the overlay, dude?
What? Oh shit.
Did
I hit? Yeah, I hit. Damn it. Okay. Why did I do that? Well, so
you're a mess?
The hotkeys are saved from Monster Hunter streams, so I used my keypad, but I don't remember entering numbers for any reason. So I don't remember why it happened, but yeah, it's something I got to be careful of because also, if anyone knows, feel free to message me on Discord. If you know of an actual USB plugin that adds buttons that aren't just reference buttons on a keyboard, because that's what I need. Because I got like a side little, you've seen my little switcher, but those are all keys. So
I've literally never seen a single thing that behaves the way you want it to, including MMO mice, because they just copy the fucking
I know, but
numpad.
I want more buttons. I want buttons that don't exist. I want more buttons. And so
I understand what you want. I'm saying I'm fairly certain it doesn't exist.
It seems so easy. Just like,
and if it did exist, it would probably be a buggy mess that would only function with a crap piece of software that would be not supported a few years after the thing's launch.
Yeah, because you can do scripts of sorts like shift commands, and you might do like a shift control alt number 9 and be like, I will never accidentally use that. But they're always buggy and they're such a mess. F13 and F. Oh, really? The F keys? Those are made up?
They go past 12?
Oh.
They go past 12?
Oh. Well, thank you. I will try that. I will definitely try that. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Because I've got little bonus keys. So anyway, my mouse keys are the scene keys when I play Monster Hunter Wild, so I can switch our scenes up, and my mouse keys are Astrologian cards and other forms of busyness when we're playing Final Fantasy XIV. So I have to go in and turn off my hotkeys every time we play different games.
That sounds like a terrible existence that I want nothing to do with.
It's a slight bother. It's a mild inconvenience, but I really like the picture-in-picture thing we're doing for Monster Hunter, so I let it happen.
I mean, have you considered just making them like alt combos? Like, it's one extra key press. trying to think.
Well, the thing is,
if I was going to use a modifier on a numpad, you know what would be a sick modifier? 0.
Like hold 0 and press another.
Hold 0 with your thumb, because the 0 is like a mini space bar on numpads. It's 2 keys wide instead of 1 on most keypads. So yeah, that's what I would do. I would do 1 through 9 with 0 as a modifier, so you don't accidentally trip them.
Yeah, I'm doing it one-handed.
Although I don't think OBS lets you bind a modifier. I think it's a single key press.
You can bind like shifts and stuff. So, but I don't think you can do like 10 with 0, 1 kind of thing.
No, that's unfortunate. Look at the Elgato Stream Deck. That sounds like drivers.
It does sound like
drivers.
If it's localized to the machine like a mixer or like the Go XLR was before it lost support, but I'm wary of consumer products after the Go XLR cancellation.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's a completely that was 6 minutes of your time. Sorry, everybody. Hi.
Hello, chat. Hello, Marco. Hi, Marco.
Oh, hello.
Marco, you're up early.
Hello.
You're an East Coaster, aren't you?
Hello.
Oh, good to see you, dude. Good to see you, Kyle. I lived with you for 3 nights.
Yeah.
Well, we had separate rooms.
Separate rooms, and
God bless. Shout out to anyone who books us separate rooms. I'm too old for that.
It's nice, We're adults.
I'm too old for that.
The silence, and all that kind of thing.
Yep, I'm gonna be biased anytime it's Square Enix versus Blizzard, because Blizzard always booked us separate rooms, and Square Enix tried to make us share a bed. So.
Yeah, I don't think that was their fault. The bed sharing part.
Thanks for ruining the bed immediately.
Well
done.
I'm still kind of curious about that, right? Because I don't know, man.
Chat.
It's a modern era.
Do you see how this man does me? Do you just see it?
They're used to solo streamers.
God forbid we have 5 minutes of a whimsical, humorous judging of video game companies based on how many beds they book us.
Exactly.
This man goes immediately into, well, I don't really know if when they went to the hotel website, if that's what they actually chose on purpose.
No, I'm saying what chat's talking about. Like, I think they might have been shipping. it's a modern era. The managers were just like, we only know solo streamers. There's 2 streamers and they're flying from Well, this is weird. They're in the same place.
You can't collab permanently. Yeah, that's not allowed.
That's weird. Do they respect each other and like split the money? Have they not fought in 14 years about that publicly? That's weird. How did that? They must be together. It's a beautiful thing.
That's good. Good save of your not funny direction. Good save, sir. I'm glad chat was there for you to read while I was complaining, and then you shifted.
I was working it around. I was
so
working it around.
Well done. Kyle says Square community managers are Yowie fans. That's the headline.
Probably good chance.
Holy shit. All right, we're back. And with that, we're back, Chrissy. Thanks for the super just engaged, already fighting. Yep. That's what happens. That's what happens.
Beautiful thing.
You put a ring on it, and the claws come out.
It was all just an act until the marriage passed. Now I have access to that checkbook. And we're going. We're going.
Well, welcome back. Welcome back to the warm, actually not super warm state of Florida.
Still
Kyle.
warmer. Still warmer.
Warmer. Yeah. So we were gone Sunday night through Wednesday night. We were in the grand state of Wyoming, which I have never been to. Had you been?
I think
Wyoming before?
I think I drove through it. Maybe, because I was in the Four Corners part of the Southwest. Growing up in New Mexico, so I likely touched it at some point, but I don't think I, had an extended stay. It was flat, but it was also like 7,600 feet high, and according to Google, there was 16% of the normal oxygen as compared to Florida.
I don't know how to take that, because that sounds like I should be dying.
Well,
like that sounds like there's a leak in a spaceship levels of oxygen.
I think that's okay. Let's see about this, because how much Wait, why did I get hair loss? That's not right. I didn't spell oxygen correctly.
What? And you got hair loss?
I don't know why I'm getting results for what? Okay, I really can't spell oxygen. Okay, here we go. Oxygen. No, this is a product.
Think of OxyClean and then GEN. OXYGEN. Welcome to the podcast. Garrett teaches Kyle spelling. Someone requested that we bring back the segment. Kyle describes cars recently.
I wrote normal hair instead of air. I want to know how much, okay. All right. So,
you accidentally included a letter that it doesn't belong in the word.
Yes, there was an extra.
That's not
H
even dyslexia. That's just being a mess.
Okay. Normal air contains 21% oxygen, so we went down to 16%.
Oh, that's not nearly as big of a drop.
No, it was still,
however,
noticeable.
Well, hold on. Okay, hold on. I'm going to my favorite website. What's the percentage of oxygen in Florida? 21?
21 is normal.
All right. And then we went down to 16%.
Yeah, we might have extra,
So, that is noteworthy. That is almost a quarter. That's almost a 25% drop of oxygen.
And Florida might have extra oxygen. We got the swamp and the trees and,
we do have a lot of green. Listen, if I'm just going off my blind eye, Florida's the greenest thing that ever existed compared to what I just saw in Wyoming.
Shockingly green. It was beautiful when we were landing. I was like, oh my God, I didn't know. Because I moved here from the Pacific Northwest, so I was like, green. Yeah, no big deal.
Also, I think you landed at night the last time you flew into Florida.
Well, yeah, that would have been from Media Tour, right? Was that my last flight?
Yes.
Anyway,
yes.
We were in the...
Also, a lot of water plants are responsible for a ton of oxygen as well, which we have in spades.
The mosses and the fungi and the...
Yeah. So we were invited out to the University of Wyoming, which has confused a decent number of our community members. Like, what? Why? That seems horribly random.
Huh.
But another this will probably be repeat information for another pie slice of the gearbox, because if some of you have been following me for long enough, you know that I've done a decent amount of work with educational institutions over the years. I am a man of many side hustles. That's how I've kept the lights on over the years and survived the terrifying decline of my day job immediately after getting married. My boss called me up and was like, "Hey, could you work 11 hours a week?" And I was just like, "I quit. You horrible dick. You were a horrible person, and now you're even a worse person."
What year was
that? That was the month after I got married. I got that call from my then at the time boss.
2016?
2015. Basically the start of 2016, because we got married at the end of October. Yeah. No, they were. Let me just call my old boss a bastard one more time. They worked me 36 hours, just close enough to full time, so they didn't have to go in benefits.
Classic maneuver. Oh, beautiful, absolutely stunning.
Oh yeah, and my bosses were married, and it's as terrible an experience as you would think. Never in the history of mankind has an HR department needed to exist more than that experience.
Of one mind, one might say.
And then my job before that tried to constantly convert me to a Jehovah's Witness. So I was really not having a great time working for other people.
Okay.
It was not a fun time. So yeah. Anyway, now that we're past my setup trauma, around that time I started just taking on whatever, and any work that would have me. I did some work for a couple colleges that eventually led to a professor at Penn State University going, "You seem like a horribly interesting entrepreneur. How do you keep the lights on?" And invited me out to give a talk about, at the time, this emerging side hustle culture, where I was making money from podcasting, but it wasn't quite enough to pay the bills. So I was also doing freelance graphic design and any other odd jobs that I could pick up. And so that was the first time I was ever invited out to talk to a college. Hey, y'all, that when you don't pay attention in class and they're talking vaguely about business pleasantries, and they mention networking, and you're like, I've heard it a million times. Turns out networking is actually important. Meeting people does help you in life. And yeah, heard from a couple other educational institutions, and for basically like coming up on a decade, I've been I've had a couple different colleges as clients over the years. Some have been ongoing, like the New Mexico State University. I've been working with them since like 2016. And some were like one-offs. Like I did a big job for UCF like 2 years ago, which I subcontracted out to you, dude, because it was so much video editing.
Oh,
I needed
yeah,
help on that one.
Yeah.
So that's the other side of this. And you and I have been trying to pursue a little more like videography work as a team since you moved here. And while this was not video, well, actually, it did end up becoming videography work. So yeah. Anyway. One of the professors that I've known for a while now is now at the University of Wyoming. Was putting together a speaker series because this professor works at the College of Business. So we got an email in our inbox that was like, "Hey guys, you want to come? This is my words, not his. You want to come be the weird, vaguely interesting entrepreneurs for the speaker series I'm putting together?
The weird.
So it's yeah. And if you're not familiar with this, like speaker series are things that colleges do a lot. They bring in like a themed group of speakers over however many dates. I think we were the first on this speaker series. So bringing in different types of people that run different types of businesses, and we were brought in as like content creators. And specifically, we were asked to talk about how we went from a hobby, which was making a podcast in 2010, to being a fairly successful small business. And so that's what we went and did.
We're weird.
And it went really well. Yeah. Weird?
Well, we're super
You've never
weird.
done this before. Yeah. So, all right. This is normal for me. I've done this enough times that it's normal for me. It's new for you. How was it?
Oh, it was fun. It was fun. You know, hopefully inspired some college students to make less mistakes, would be the main goal of that particular speech we gave. And it was very, very interesting. It was cool to see you in an element I've never seen you before. Garrett did excellent. Tied back his hair, got out the camera, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, look at this man! Oh my God, he knows how to work a camera. Just look at his hair." Like it was impressive. It was impressive. We've amassed a great number of odd skills, tools, and equipment over doing all these videos and doing these shows because we're both kind of sticklers for quality, and it's cool to get an opportunity to share those thoughts with a very interested audience. Like they were quite captivated by our story, and that was really fun.
One of the I'm gonna just say sorry, other colleges. Probably the best crowd I've had at one of these. Really good questions. If I don't know if you noticed, we got kind of shut down. Professor Buddy came in and was like, "All right, that's time because we gotta go."
Yeah,
we have other engagements.
They kept asking things, which is great.
I could have kept talking to that class for another 2 hours.
They had some really interesting questions, and a lot of them, very, very modern, which was cool. And we had some modern answers for them, which was even better because one of my fears of the whole situation was like, okay, here's what podcasting was like in 2010. Streaming didn't exist. Enjoy this information, but no, we made it quite modern for them. We had lots of interesting tips, and we got to stream, which was very exciting for them because they have a brand new kind of facility for that sort of thing. Amazing Wi-Fi, apparently, because it held up a Monster Hunter Wild stream.
Yeah. Shout out to them. Shout out to the University of Wyoming's College of Business because they let us just continue doing the YouTube thing while we were there. And it was really funny because pretty early on when we knew we were heading out, I got an email and they were like, "Hey, what do you like? Tell us what you need, and don't feel free to get really specific with it." And like one of the first things I mentioned was hardwire internet, and they immediately are like, "Not possible." I'm like, "What do you mean it's not possible? Every university I go to just has Cat 5 hookups in the walls, like everywhere. You trip and you fall and you're looking at a Cat 5 thing." And they're like, "Yeah, well, this building's new and we didn't run it." I'm like, "Well, shit." But we got there and it was fine. I think we had one tiny minor, minor F Yeah, just a tiny little one, and then it was fine. And we did a full 4-hour stream of Monster Hunter Wilds, and so yeah, that's sweet. And that's a good thing because they invited us back. We met some other folks, and
Yeah,
there's an event.
They like
There's an
this.
event coming up in a few months, and they were like, "Hey, can you come out and like do some videography for that?" And we looked at our calendar and we said, "Yeah, I think so." And it sounds like we'll be able to keep streaming while we're there. So
Because there's downtime naturally.
Sweet.
So hey, might as well stream while we're there, play video games.
yeah, that's makes it really easy to say yes to. And yeah, so it was cool. Never been to Wyoming. The area where we were, the University of Wyoming, is basically a college town. And it's properly a small town. But also, oh my god, dude, I need to work out. I ate so heavy.
Oh
y'all,
yeah, no, winter bulk,
y'all go
man.
hard with the food in Wyoming.
Winter bulk, man. You know, you don't want to be out in that cold hungry. That sucks. That's awful.
Yeah. It was 20 degrees while we were there.
And it snowed on you for the first time ever. For you.
I have never been snowed on.
That was a weak little flurry, but I don't want to take the thunder of it. I'm glad you got snowed on.
Yeah. It was what did I say while we were walking? I was like, it's okay, 4 out of 10. Like I would give it wasn't cripplingly awful. But I didn't really want to stay in it. I didn't really want to stay out in it. I could see where if I were doing a leisure activity like skiing, where I might bump that up to like a 7 or an 8 out of 10. But for our purposes, which was walking from the car with roughly 40 pounds of camera gear strapped to my back, then walking from the car to inside a college building, yeah, I give that a 4 out of 10. I would describe it as mildly unpleasant.
I mean, the fun part's layering, really what it comes down to. People always say that as like, you know, protection, safety from the cold, but also like fashion is freaking fun in the north, or, you know, the altitude in this case. However, I didn't have my old resiliences. Like, I rolled up a sweater on my arms. I'm like, oh, this is heavy. Oh god, it's bunching in my what are these pits? Elbows? Joints? What do you call your elbow pit?
I don't know. I just what's the opposite of a weenus?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
The weenus gooch.
Yes, exactly. The other side.
What is the gooch of your weenus? That's what we're trying to figure out
so,
right
like,
now.
Having a nice sweater like bunch up in there was like kind of tiring. And the crook. There we go.
The crook.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not weenus
like,
gooch.
Wearing pants was like kind of wore me out after being in Florida for a full year. It just kind of
okay. That's how you know you're a Florida man. When when you start to complain that you just want to wear shorts, that's how you know you are assimilating.
It just kind of got tiring. Yeah, I haven't quite figured out Florida fashion.
You haven't figured out Florida fashion? You'll get there. Don't worry. You're almost 40. You should probably just give up and buy some boat shoes.
I'd be okay with that as long as I can wear full socks. I hate tiny socks.
You don't wear socks at all with loafers.
But they're leather. They're gonna destroy your feet. How do
you break them in, and then they're like, that's the nice thing about like real leather footwear is eventually you wear out a spot in the heel that stays forever.
Oh God.
Yeah, there's ways to accelerate it if you want to get really nerdy. This is not a bit. This is like a real thing. Like you should look if you want to go down a rabbit hole that I feel like you would enjoy, because I feel like you like fashion. You like overly elaborate fashion that requires sacrifice. Look up just like leather boot culture.
Okay.
It goes deep. It's also very thrifty. There's a whole subculture of trying to find vintage leather boots that are like already broken in. But then there's also there's tips and tricks for breaking in, new leather things. But yeah, just get yourself a nice, soft, supple pair of loafers.
The shoes are okay.
Though it's a word you like saying, just raw dog that shit.
Yeah.
Man.
Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah. Good to know. I didn't
literally because your dogs are your feet. So
fair enough. There you go.
Raw feet. There it is. There you go. But yeah. Yeah, I like layering as much as the next person. I think I look rather fetching in a coat, and I never get to wear it. So I was enjoying the fashion of it all. The second I have to do more than a shirt and a coat though, I start to get kind of annoyed.
It's
And
busy. It is, particularly when you're, getting the children dressed, having to suit them up as well. It takes a lot of time to prepare
oh,
for the weather.
I can only imagine. Are your kids anti-button? Are you going through that?
No,
Like they get annoyed at the buttons. I got annoyed at buttons when I was a kid.
I mean, they're anti-pants, but that's just, Calvin and Hobbes energy, right? Like,
I was gonna go with Donald Duck energy.
that's just how it
sure.
goes,
Anytime Katie and I see Winnie the Pooh, usually at Epcot is where we see Winnie the Pooh more often. We refer to him as that pervert.
Oh, yeah.
Just running around with just a shirt and no pants.
Fur, our cats are naked, and, that's not too weird. So fur does a lot of heavy lifting.
But that doesn't make me giggle as I'm walking past that one hill that is near where the butterfly garden is during the Flower and Garden Festival.
Fair enough. I did my favorite hotel activity, which is I found the absolute trash of some, money laundering scheme. Dolores was 42 years old, and she didn't know if she added an extra 0.0 on her government paycheck that she'd be making millions in the year.
That sounds much more entertaining than Transformers The Last Night, which I have never seen, but I saw the last 30 minutes of, and that is one of the worst things I've ever looked at.
It's a celebrated worst thing you've ever looked at, but it is definitely one of the worst things you ever looked at.
Dude, I think Mark Wahlberg is one of the worst actors of our generation.
Yeah, I mean,
I think he is one of the luckiest people to ever get famous.
He goes hard for what he's doing, and I respect that.
He goes hard for mediocrity.
He's like a workaholic. So I mean, I'm like, okay, at least he's like pushing himself.
Is he?
I don't.
Is having an extremely mid chain of burger restaurants pushing yourself?
Just keeps, he keeps going, and I respect that. That's all I got. That's all I got for Mark Wahlberg.
I'm trying to like short of like full on fire, crashing and burning controversies. I don't think there's an actor I respect less than Mark Wahlberg.
I honestly can't think of a movie where I'm like, damn, Mark really knocked it out of the park there. So
he's perfectly acceptable in The Departed because he can do a Boston accent, and I like him in Ted. And other than that, I'm always mad when I see him show up. I'm like, crap, I thought this was going to be a good movie, but Mark Wahlberg is here.
I think that's why I'm even slightly trying to defend him, because I just don't know his movies. I haven't seen Ted. I haven't seen Boogie Nights, Departed, The Fighter. The only one I've really seen is
you haven't seen The Departed?
No.
You seem like the type of person who, when Jack Nicholson shows up, you just press play.
I do like Jack Nicholson. I mean, I like earlier when I'm not like afraid of him, Jack Nicholson. Like, I think he doesn't.
When was that? Because he's always been terrifying. And I include in that 89 Batman.
Yeah, he's terrifying.
Which you were born in 87.
Right.
So how much earlier do you mean?
Well,
like before you were born?
You got like, Batman. I'm on Mark Wahlberg here. I'm getting confused. It's Leonardo DiCaprio. I don't like movies where they put the pictures of the actors in the letters. I just assume it's boring. So that's why I've never seen that.
Okay. It's really freaking good. It's a very good movie.
As I saw As Good as It Gets when I was a kid, and he scared me. I was afraid of him a bit because he was just so angry. And then Anger Management came out like the next week, so I was like, wow, I don't.
That's a bad movie.
I'm As Good as It Gets is actually a really good film.
No, I'm talking about.
He did an amazing job. Oh yeah,
As Good as It Gets is great.
Yeah.
Also, I'm sorry. Are you saying The Departed, a Martin Scorsese film, you just assumed was boring?
Well, because it's got like listen. There's a reason I've seen Patriot Games and all that, because I was Harrison Ford in it. I didn't see it. I didn't see
it. I know I get on you because you say you're a theater kid, but it's like you just got you just got the strange social bits of being a theater kid and none of the filmic taste.
Well, none of the generic movie watcher tastes. Like, I love Turner Classic Movies. That stuff is so cozy. I love putting on a good classic. I'm halfway through Nosferatu right now. Like, I've got my tastes.
Okay. Problem. One of my favorite movies of last year. I'm still gonna give it to The Substance. But Nosferatu was this year, wasn't it? When was the actual technical release date of Nosferatu? No, that was last year. That was a 2014 movie. Probably my second favorite movie of 2024. I'd probably give it the number 2. If it's number 2. Oh, can I bore you? Can I bore you for like
Sure.
5 minutes?
What's up? What's going on?
I had like a garbage. Oh crap! Are you still there?
Yes, I'm still here. What?
Oh, okay. I closed Discord, but it's still running. Okay,
yeah,
sweet,
one of those.
wonderful.
Good.
Yeah, I'm apparently trash. I found out that I'm actually like properly trash about another fandom that I knew I liked. I didn't realize I liked it as much as I did. So I'm just here to tell you, you cannot trust my opinion on Daredevil. I watched the first episode of the new Daredevil series that's out on Disney Plus last night. And warm, fuzzy emotions washed over me that I was not expecting to feel.
Oh, okay. Sure. Well, that's healthy.
I am so happy that cast is back.
I think that's healthy. I'm into that.
Yeah, it was probably stronger than seeing David Tennant return in the recent Doctor Who specials, which I thought was about short of like seeing like Obi-Wan don his robe again. Like I thought that was as high into like fandom warm fuzzies that I get. Yeah, Daredevil did it worse. Like, damn. Yeah, I'm no spoiler. Don't worry, folks. There's no story spoilers. Just Garrett's emotion spoilers, which is it just felt good to see those characters, those actors playing those characters again.
I mean, I have these. I'm trying to think of like, everything's just kind of gone on too long sometimes. Because certainly, like, Avengers, like there was a time period where like those Avengers would walk on screen, you'd be like, oh my god, it's freaking Avengers. I do this with John Hurt. Like every movie I see with John Hurt,
which is why I really think you should watch the Doctor Who 50th anniversary special, because he's all up in that joint.
I should. I love John Hurt, and every time I see him, I'm just like, you go, John Hurt. You do your thing. I love. Actually, oh man, Jim. Hang on, and then there's I'm a British person that I also get very excited about.
John Hurt is a British person.
No, but I'm a British person. I'm trying to.
Matt Berry?
That would be the.
Matt Berry is a British person.
That would be the modern I'm a British person. He played the president in Fallout. Hang on, I'm getting his name. Oh, wait. Wait.
How could a British person play the president?
Hang on. It's a South Park episode. I'm a British person. I'm trying to remember his name.
See, if Kyle paid more attention to movies, this would be easier for him.
Yeah, it would be. But John Hurt's the storyteller in the Jim Henson thing, which is freaking amazing. I love that. I love that so much. And he's in Aliens and everything else, and it's the reason why.
Malcolm McDowell is who you're trying to think of.
Malcolm McDowell. Thank you.
Who, for a long time, I mistook for John Hurt. So I can see where you're coming.
That's why I thought of them in a similar breath. Exactly.
I like Malcolm McDowell. I forgive him for being a part of Heroes Season 2.
Anyway, I don't remember how we got here. Oh, yes. Yeah, I was trying to think of a fandom that I just get like all gush. I mean, I have my isekais, dude. Like, I just get trapped in a video game.
But you're always watching like 2 episodes of like the 27th one you've tried this week. Like, how do you get emotional for something that you leave discarded like a half-eaten bag of chips?
No, that's fair. Like, I'm just saying, like sometimes we all have our trash taste thing that we just get excited about.
Yeah. Anyway, I adore it. They didn't completely ruin it. Visually, it doesn't look like the Netflix series, which is probably my biggest complaint about it. That Netflix series, they knew how to light shit. There was so much backlighting and edge lighting, and it was wonderful.
Nice.
And there's, I would say, more visual style than your average Disney Plus show, but not as much sauce as the Netflix show had. So that's probably my biggest disappointment, but they haven't betrayed the characters. The characters still feel like the characters from the Netflix series, and that makes me happy. Also, apparently, they had like pretty much a finished show, and everyone was like, "This sucks. Why aren't you using the continuity of the Netflix show?" And they like threw it all out, wrote a whole new show based on a continuation of the Netflix show, and went for it.
Oh,
and I'm very happy that that's what they did, because I would have been furious if you brought Charlie Cox back to play Daredevil and you didn't and you just pretended like that awesome Netflix shit didn't happen. So yeah, anyway, it's good. That's all I got. But also, you can't trust me because I'm apparently emotional about that cast. So maybe it's bad.
That all sounds wonderful, man.
This might be like Star Wars. I don't think anyone can trust my opinion on Star Wars.
I
just love it.
Well, on our trip, I joined the Nerd Gigante Mile High Club. Killed him twice up there in the air.
Oh wow!
Farmed the hell out of him. That was great. Tried Luna, couldn't do it. But it was really fresh to just sit on a plane, passing 3.5 hours playing Monster Hunter Worlds. That was delightful.
Effing God, I thought you were about to tell me you had a bad dragon experience, but never mind. Okay.
No, yeah, I was cool. Exactly. I was there. He gets pissed off really quickly when you're all by yourself. He is not a fan. Though I can say I have his armor now, and I get like a big alert whenever they enrage, and that's really nice. So, Steam Deck doing good work there.
I'm trying so hard to hold out until they do a Steam Deck 2, and flying with you is not helping. It is not helping at all. I had my first Steam Deck experience while traveling with you. Never used one before. Never even seen one up close. That is a wonderful piece of hardware.
Yeah, it is nice.
Holy shit, those things are well made. I'd say it's borderline on Nintendo levels of quality. Well, I guess actually compared to the Switch, it's easily better. The Switch at all times feels like it's just going to break in your hands, which is a departure, I feel like, from my lifelong love of Nintendo hardware, because their shit is usually just built so damn rock solid. Though, to give them credit, I have a launch Switch, and I have never had a single issue with it, including joystick drift somehow. My brother has gone through like 4 Joy-Cons. I don't know how mine has lasted as long as it has. And the Switch 2 looks really good. It looks like it's going to have that kind of rock solid Nintendo feel that I remember from the 90s. But the Steam Deck is crazy good, man. I'm super impressed. You have the OLED model, which is like the lightest handheld I have ever held. Yeah. I can't get over how light it is. And according to you, it has quite good battery life. Like, how is this so light and not immediately die after like an hour of Monster Hunter World?
It is pretty freaking solid, man. I had a really good time with it, and that was nice to play. And it just the best feature of the whole thing is when I hit the power button, like mid-fight, like Luna, the blue lion, can be like mid-air jumping at me, and I can hit power. I maybe lose like 2 seconds as it kind of shuts down, and then on power up, I maybe have like a second where the game is re-engaging, but I can just full-blown like pause that game with the power button, cool. And that's delightful.
That's neat. My new obsession doesn't matter because I can pause it whenever I want, because it's Vampire Survivors. We were sitting in the Denver airport. You're over there on your Steam Deck playing. I look over. I go, "What the hell is that?" And you're like, "It's Vampire Survivors." And you had this delivery in your voice that was like, "Where the frick have you been?" It's like it's a delivery that usually I am giving to you.
Yeah.
Because usually you are the one under a rock, but you're like, "Oh, it's Vampire Survivors," and I go, "Oh, I've heard tons about that game," because every video game podcast I've ever listened to wouldn't shut up about it 2 years ago, 1 year ago. When did this come out? When did Vampires?
Oh my God, it's probably longer than that. I think it's 4. Might be 4.
2021?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's been a while.
I am late. But yeah. You were like, "You want to try?" I'm like, "Yeah." And like the passing of the Game Boy that sent me down a certain road in 97 when Pokemon came out. Oh man, that game is something.
It's pretty good. It's amazing what you can do with one control stick.
I immediately installed it on my phone. We had a 3.5 hour flight home. I did not at any point put my phone down.
That's awesome.
I played Vampire Survivors on my phone all the way home.
I'm so happy for you, dude. That is a delight. I'm glad I could share it in that exact moment, because
time slippage.
It was beautiful, and I just like we were sitting there waiting for our plane for a good half an hour, and I just watched you play, and it was fun to just see you kind of like, oh, that's delightful. Oh, that's nice, and like you sat through the whole treasure chest animation, just kind of being like, oh, okay, all right. It's a fun little game.
I streamed a little bit of it at the end of my Final Fantasy 14 stream yesterday. And does anyone actually know how you speed up the treasure chest animation? Because it seems like it's just kind of vibes based, because no one button seems to do it. Mashing a bunch of buttons does seem to do it.
Huh. I mean, I hit B and that completes the treasure chest, but it will still finish the gold total out if it's going gold up.
Gotcha.
So
yeah, just hitting B once doesn't seem to do jack on Steam controller version.
Interesting.
I'm not playing on a Steam controller, but I'm playing on Steam on my computer right now with a controller. But yeah. So sweet. I'm obsessed. Katie watched me do a whole successful 30-minute run because she was just like, this is mesmerizing. I'm like, I know, right?
Yeah,
like,
it's and as you go, you unlock more unlockables that can kind of like guide you towards certain items. You know, there's no like outside of your initial character pick, there's no super lock-in way to get exactly what you want. But there's lots of little kind of roguelite things going on there that just keeps it very chill. It's something I've been not playing for a very long time, just because, you know, you kind of move on like a Loop Hero and all that sort of thing. The Steam Deck is great for that kind of stuff. Like if you enjoy a lot of indie games, in particular when it comes to the touchscreen, I love just being hybrid with it and doing Slay the Spire with the touchscreen entirely. Whereas like, you know, Vampire Survivors, I tap on screen for the upgrades I want and all my menu selections, but then I use the joystick. And that's delightful.
It is quite nice. It's all right. I really want a Steam Deck, but also I know it can't run Wilds, so I'm just like,
no, it can't.
Steam or Valve, can you please just put out a new Steam Deck? Just please put out a new Steam Deck with more powerful internals.
Which is weird because I think it could, but I don't think Wilds was designed appropriately to be turned down that much. Because when you turn it down that much, it turns into a pixel game. And yet there's still just as much junk in the air, like little bugs flying by and mist and stuff. Why doesn't that stuff turn off? That's so weird.
I don't know.
I think it should just turn it. Like, when I put things down to minimum, shadows should disappear, which they do. But bugs in the air should disappear. Like, that's all superfluous. You know, maybe there's someone like really pushing over there at Capcom that's like, listen, the endemic life is integral to the storyline,
to the experience,
and I need those bugs in the air. Damn it! Why are we killing monsters if not to save the small critters? After all, you have to see that bunny go by.
Are we officially just going to be talking about Monster Hunter World or Wilds?
Oh yeah, let's go into Wilds.
Are we doing it? Okay, all right, cool. Because we're probably pretty close to the end of the story. We hope. I hope.
I know we're close to the end of low rank and gonna head into high rank soon. So we're
cool.
Approaching the end of chapter 3 for any spoiler adverse people on the story. There's no way to talk about this without talking about the story, because outside of actual playing the game issues, the story is the thing everyone's kind of talking about.
Yes, yeah, and if you haven't even picked it up yet and you're worried, let me tell you, don't worry. The story isn't that good.
Well, that's an opinion that is shared by many, and I just want to put out
I haven't looked up any takes, and every time I mention it, I get dogpiled. People are like, "Oh, you're part of that," and I'm just like, First off, leave me alone. I'm not part of that. I have looked up no other takes.
Oh, welcome to my world, yeah, man.
On Monster Hunter Wilds, everyone wants to put me in a bucket with other creators. Like, I don't know, because I'm also like, I feel like I would have been aware of this. Like, I don't really think it's as like pervasive as some people, you know, like cracking back at me for saying I don't enjoy the story make it sound to be, because I'm watching a ton of Monster Hunter videos. I'm watching I'm watching a lot of weapon guides, and so my YouTube algorithm, it is suggesting a ton of Monster Hunter videos, and I'm not seeing a bunch of like clickbait, like Monster Hunter Wilds story worst of all time, like nothing like that. Well, I think it's just the most of all time. It's the most story they've tried to do.
Yes.
And I just don't think it's particularly interesting.
Well, you have your long-term fans, and some of them really liked Monster Hunter U and thought it had a really good story. But a little disclaimer here, Garrett, between you and me, just between you and me, this is kind of the best story they've gotten. So, like, they want more. And
I'm
so
assuming they play other games. I'm assuming they've experienced other stories.
But they don't want to, they like what's going on here, and they want to see it evolve, and they want to nurture it. They don't want to. They want to talk to this plant and watch it grow, and say, "You beautiful little bastard. You push off your seeds. You're a little awkward. It's okay, but just grow into a beautiful little tree that we can all enjoy." And I think they're really kind of pushing what Monster Hunter story has ever done. And that's commendable. And that would be my assumption why you're receiving pushback. Because if you are a Monster Hunter fan and that is your main game, this is pretty damn impressive. With the facial emotions, with the emotional touches. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. And there's aspects of it I love. I love the handler experience. The legal binding talk that is, you may go kill this monster now. And watching my character, who's a doof, a little goofball, a little goofy goober, stand there and get real serious faced. And then the gate is open and he runs in with his dual blades and just like freaking turn into a buzzsaw. Love it. I do think there's a problem that the game is a little mammal centric. She's very, very quick to let us kill anything arachnid-like or even lizardy, but the second it has any mammal features, we're like, well, hang on now. We might need to study this. And it's not a perfect system, right? Like, we beat the flying crap out of that beta fish lizard. But we all knew he was going to run away, I guess. There's no health bars, so when it says, repel a monster rather than kill it, I don't know when that's going to happen. And if lady here with the cool armor and the short hair and the big hammer is hitting it in the face with a giant hammer, that doesn't seem particularly peaceful. But I love. I'm trying to think of examples that aren't anime. I'm trying. Maybe you can help me. But in Hellsing, they do this like restriction 3, level 4 unlocked, and it means he's like getting rid. He's like has permission from his handler to use all the vampire powers available to him, and he will.
No, I would follow that under fairly strictly anime nonsense. And I think Monster Hunter can easily get filed into that same drawer.
Maybe it's just like, the Jedi that's allowed to kill or something like that. Like there's got to be examples of this in other media.
I've got news for you, Kyle. All Jedi kill.
Oh, I know, but like there should be some sort of like step-by-step process where they approach this need to kill. It shouldn't be the first resort.
It probably is in Legends.
There's probably some sort of like Jedi code they have to obey.
But in mainline Star Wars, they're just murdering people right and left.
So there's a lot of it I really, really like. There are some things that are kind of awkward, and I don't want to be that guy that I can be sometimes, about the subs and the dubs. But there are some things that are just kind of subby and dubby that, are kind of weird.
Yeah, I mean, just straight up, there's just some voice acting that's not landing for me. I'm not going to get specific because I'm a little window on voice actors getting abused by assholes on the internet. So I don't. Yeah, I don't want
to. We can declare that insane and still talk about it if you'd like.
I don't need to get specific. I don't need to get to that level of granularity because it's a minor note in my overall mid feelings about the campaign.
Well, look here, I'll give you one that's non-voice actor specific because I think they're all doing an amazing job. I think they're all like delivering their lines expertly, and a lot of it's very crunchy, like unedited Star Wars kind of lines sometimes, and you're like, well, good for you for saying it by the book. Nice job. But there are scenes where, my cat is doing the best acting of everyone in the room because they're just, and they're just like, it's not even that I replaced their Palico lines or anything like that. It's that the cat is so engaged in what the elder's saying, so joyous to be there, that when someone goes, that's really interesting, I'm like, of course it is. That's why I'm paying attention. You didn't need to say that. Look at my cat. Look how interested he is. No one needed to say that it was interesting. Let me decide if this was an interesting engagement. And it is. But I don't need you to say that. I don't require constant affirmation of my interest in your story. Look at the cat. Look how much he's loving this. He's so engaged.
So I rewatched the opening like 3 hours because I'm becoming a bit of an Iron Mouse fan, and Iron Mouse streamed this with
Wow. Oh, nice. Oh, okay.
And I got home like at 9 o'clock after dropping you off from the airport.
Okay.
And I was just bushed, and I was very excited to get home and watch White Lotus and Daredevil, but I just didn't have it in me to pay attention to a narrative, and so I put on the Sea Dog VOD of his Wild stream with Iron Mouse, and I really love the opening few hours of this game, up to the Woodwoods, which are these adorable little kind of gremlin-like Ewok,
yeah, they're fun as hell,
otter people. And it's just because it was whimsical, and it was just fun and deeply unserious. And I think that's like how I like my Monster Hunter. We got later, like it's about like hour 4 or 5, I think, was when I let loose my first, like, the story's not really doing it for me, and like immediately I got cracked back. Like, people are like, no, you're not allowed to. No, I don't want you to be that person. And I'm just like, what? It's just what?
Sure.
It's just not really doing it for me. I like the gameplay. I think the game's good, but for some people that's alarming, I guess, because of some sort of discourse that I'm not privy to. But they said, just wait till later. And now we're later, and I'm like, oh my God, this is like just not, like, 110% not doing it for me. Wyvern milk is absurd. This is a completely absurd, ridiculous thing to be constantly uttering, and we had a first big crying scene, and I'm like, this is horribly unearned. Everything is so convenient. No, like, everything's working out really great for everybody. Why are we crying?
That's
I don't want to talk about it. I'm just explaining my take, and I'm moving on.
Okay.
I don't want to go into it because
I'm not going to ask you.
I've already had like 25 people try and explain it to me, and I'm like,
I wasn't going to explain anything to you. I was going to say my own opinion, and it's not to counter yours at all.
Okay.
Because I think the world has a very charming aspect to it. Like when she herds the cats with the meat on them and all, away from the fire chicken. Like, there's so much charm, and it can leave you kind of reeling at times when it does a really nice cutscene and then goes into a smaller budget cutscene and explains the exact same information over again. And you're like, wait, what? I'm perfectly aware of this.
I'm used to from playing a lot of Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy 14 does the same thing, where they will just repeat what you just saw in an unvoiced static cutscene. And that's when, if I was playing alone, I would just skip and move on. My point was that when it gets like more, so far when it's gotten more emotional, I've gotten more bored, and I'm more here for the whimsical stuff. I really like when it's having fun, when it's being silly, when it's being magical, whimsical, and kind of reveling in the absurdity of this world, rather than trying to have an emotional scene where nothing particularly even minorly inconvenient just happened.
Right, but and in my opinion, it's the kind of, and it helps to accept. Hang on. Okay, Watchmen Ozymandias. He unleashes a monster on the universe, so everyone, or on the planet Earth, so that everyone can get along and fight monsters. And he's like, I did it, and then Rorschach gets blown up.
Spoilers for
Watchmen. It's worth reading. Go read it. Don't worry about the movie. It's fine, but it's worth reading. Anyway, that makes this world completely free of like any sort of political, geographical strife. And so when you have a monster apocalypse of sorts, and thank goodness nobody died, is the line that's kind of like, well, I kind of wish someone did, but I get what you're going for because it's a perfect society because the world is inhabited by monsters. There is some theory, and this does get into the subs and dubs kind of thing. There are some, so I grew up in the 90s. When watching anime meant that it was usually fan translated. And a lot of the anime I watched was kind of pun heavy. And when a pun would happen on the screen, a paragraph would appear explaining the cultural significance of this particular pun and why it was funny. And you had to pause because it was so fast. It would just flash on screen. And they were always weird. And some localization can roll with this. And sometimes you get something really good and you're like, okay, all right, I'm feeling it. You kind of translated that well. The wyvern milk thing, theory here, but a lot of people are supporting it, is apparently a pun of the word dragon. Because cow's milk and the word dragon kind of share some similar sounds. So this is, the wyvern milk thing has a little bit of wit, a little spin to it in the Japanese language that did not make it into English.
Why are they trying to do a pun when the story starts to get very serious and exposition-y?
Well, because it's cute. And much like the wind chimes that sounded like the dragon, it's just kind of a cute game. And so a little wordplay is kind of fun and charming.
But it's at a profoundly unfun and very serious part of the narrative.
It is.
That's odd.
But saying, like this kind of dragon milk is more badass than when you put it in English, which is kind of just, where's the wyvern teat? And we're all wondering like how this happened.
Wonderful. I can't wait for high rank. I'm very excited to play the game. I like my handler. I like my blacksmith. I love my palico. The Woodwoods are gremlins of the year.
Yeah, they're pretty cute.
The huge I mentioned on stream. It's I'm having the Godzilla issue. I want to see the monsters fight, and when the humans talk, I'm bored. And that's the simplest way I can put my feelings on the Monster Hunter Wild story.
I think it would be a perfect game for one of those. Well, those are actually reduced down to story. So we need the opposite. When a AAA game comes out and it's like, do you want to play story mode where we remove all the combat? Like Mass Effect 3 had this. What if they had that option for someone like you? Because I don't think it would be terribly confusing for those who don't want a story to press an option. I just want combat, and they're like, okay, the bear's attacking the village. We gotta take him down, and you'll just be like, sick. I am Monster Hunter.
I think it's okay. Do your story. I would prefer if you made it a little more emotionally gripping, but it's fine. You can skip cutscenes, and I would say if you're like me, you probably should just skip the cutscenes because the gameplay is really freaking good. I think the gameplay is better than World, and that's what I wanted from this, and that's what I'm getting from this, and so I think Wild is amazing and deserves the 8 million copies that it sold.
Yeah, insane. Yeah, absolutely insane.
The issue I'm running afoul of is I play this game publicly, and so when I go, oh, it's not really doing it for me. That's where it would have ended. But you ask me questions, and people in chat ask me questions.
Oh, yeah.
And then I expand upon my thought more, which makes it sound like I freaking hate this game. But in reality, I just want to get to the part that I care about.
I think that's okay.
Just let me fight and just let me grind, because that's what I showed up to the game for.
That's fine.
Yeah, and so it's tough. It's tough.
I'm sorry you feel cornered.
I think I always feel cornered, and it goes with the territory of streaming. There are so many times. It's not Monster Hunter Wild's fault. This has happened once per expansion of Final Fantasy XIV, where there's something I kind of don't like, and I mentioned that I kind of don't like it, and then the stans and K-pop fans of that one thing that I don't like show up to defend the living crap out of it, but then also ask me why I feel the way that I feel, and I give my reasonings, which are usually very detailed and alphabetized, and because of that, I seem like I'm a massive hater. When in reality, I'm like, oh, it's a minor annoyance that I would move past if no one asked me why I felt that way, or I didn't feel cornered by the fans of it to defend its honor. And this is just something that happens with streaming.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's odd. It's a bit strange. Someone very recently, I don't mean to single this person out, but someone in our Discord was like referred to me as dunking on Monster Hunter Wilds, and I took that personally. I was like, I feel like that's a bit harsh because I'm like, I love this game. It's going to be one of my most played games of this and probably next year.
Well, you have a phrase that you enjoy, like Stormblood's really good when someone's not in your ear telling you it sucks.
I believe I use a term of when there's not a bitch in your ear telling you it sucks.
There you go.
Yeah.
And so what happens is a lot of people end up playing this completely by themselves. There's no awkwardness, tied to a lot of things when you're watching something by yourself. Granted, like, I can't think of anything awkward. Like, my dad walks in and the guy's like, the genitals, they have no genitals. And he's like, what are you playing? Like, no, there's not. Like, outside of that, I really can't think of anything that would be super awkward for, like, are you gaming, son kind of moments. But you do that. You go online and now, like, everywhere you see, like, your story sucks. The thing you enjoyed just sucks. And oftentimes, and this is not your fault at all, what happens in these situations is the person with the negative opinion is like, I am an intelligent human being and you are dumb for and they walk away feeling dumb and they push back because no one wants to feel dumb. No one wants to be the villain that's causing video games to have more dumb stories because, sales number big. I think there are obvious flaws with it, but I also really like aspects of it. And that's why I think, like, that's why I want to water it. Like, obviously, we're doing better than Zora Magdaros. Zora Magdaros is on it. Like, that was a vehicle. Those are terrible world missions. Absolutely terrible.
I have played more than 4 hours of 2 Monster Hunter games, and both of those Monster Hunter games have campaign elements that get in the way of what is fun about that game, in my opinion. And in World, it's Zora Magdaros. That is some of the most laborious on-rails level design I've experienced in a game that was released after like 2005.
It's kind of crazy, right?
And in Wilds, it's just the story in general, I feel. I think a lot of the cutscenes go on too long and then are followed by lower rent cutscenes, as you pointed out, that explain the shit I just watched. And then also, like, honestly, the thing that bugs me more than anything else about the story is the walk and talk segments on the Sacred, which is your mount. There's a lot of these, and they don't let you venture too far off the road to gather the things around you. Which, I'm like, it's Monster Hunter. I want to gather. It's what I'm here for. Also, you didn't give me a farm, which I got really dependent on in the world, and I need to collect as much honey as humanly possible because I'm constantly running out of potions.
I think that is it's too big of a move, but I see why they did it, because Monster Hunter is inherently a very confusing game. And if I didn't know about all that gathering, I would just sit back and watch and relax. And I'd figure out potions later. Because I get free potions anyway on my Sacred, so why?
You do.
So,
which I keep forgetting about because I was used to the chest from World.
So, yeah. Like, the complaints about difficulty, the complaints about being too on rails, like, a lot of that is coming from a place of Monster Hunter knowledge and hopes that it would feel more free and open, which it hasn't yet. Like, granted, we could go do a bunch of side quests and probably feel pretty free. But our brain says, and certainly, we have RPG brains,
which you can go do basically right away. I mean, yeah. I farmed the second spider boss off stream because I was just like, I just want this armor set, even though it's low rank, and I'll probably get rid of it almost immediately. But I look a little silly and I want a match. And yeah, you're like, right, you kill your first frogman, and you can just go and farm that frogman. So the game does, like, in its defense, give you tons of freedom in that regard. But yeah, like that, like, more than the story, more than anything else, just kind of having that really on rails narrative experience. Like the first time you start trying to find any of these monsters, it really takes me out of it and just feels like strangely old.
And I think it's purposeful. It's done on purpose because they know this is going to be many people's first Monster Hunter game. It's a modern game, looks great for the big TV, and it's a really complicated system. and they hold your hand a lot. Same with the difficulty. Like, honestly, like if I didn't know monster tells, like I've learned from World, I'd be getting hit a lot. Also, dual blades really helps because I dodge very, very easily. So that makes the game a lot
I've
easier.
been playing mostly Greatsword for the first time because I didn't do Greatsword in World. And I'm getting hit constantly. I'm getting my ass absolutely handed to me. When I swap the Sword and Shield, I look like I know what I'm doing.
And the other
Sword and Shield's amazing in Wilds.
And when you combine like an RPG player brain and a Monster Hunter brain together, you kind of have this difficulty with the low ranks because you go, everything's kind of pointless. Why would I grind anything? Why would I do any optionals? Because as soon as I get to high rank, I don't know if it's true in this game, but I assume all the gear is going to be better. So why would I farm anything here in the low ranks? That's just kind of silly.
That appears to be true for personal enjoyment. And that's
exactly.
where I get on board. Like, I want my hunter to look cool pretty much at all times. And I let that go every once in a while for the sake of the stream having a good pace. But then I log immediately back in after the stream's over, and I go back and I kill the monster over and over again. Because I don't want my hunter to look like they fell into a thrift store.
Yeah, that's kind of the fun.
Yeah.
You know, they got to hold it against you for having.
Yeah. But that's where I get defensive, because I am so exhausted by the discourse over how long tutorials should be. It is such a flag planty borderline political stance discussion in certain corners of the internet with gamers. It's like, there should be no tutorials, and then it's like, no, all tutorials should be like 5 hours long, and it's just like, no, how about what if tutorials are actually a nuanced topic that, depending on the game, it should be the length that it should be. So with that out of the way, that I don't want to have that discourse, and I think tutorial discoursers are maybe in second place for the most annoying tribalists in gaming discourse, right underneath console wars.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Monster Hunter's tutorial, because you don't go on the internet. You have 3 kids. The Monster Hunter's tutorial is too long. It's too long. They should take the training wheels off. The training wheels are on too long with Monster Hunter. That's my vibe.
I mean, we still haven't learned how to capture anything, so I think maybe it ain't long enough. I don't know.
We learned to capture things in World because chat was telling us to capture things. I think before we ever got to the capture quest.
Yeah, we did a little early. We did it a little early before the capture quest, and I hear that people are doing that, and it's letting you do it, so that's perfectly fine. I mean, sometimes you play a game, you know, and you're like, it would feel natural to hit A here, and oh my God, you did it. Have you ever played one of those games where you just kind of like do the thing that feels right and it's correct, and that's how you learn the entire game because it keeps putting you in situations where it's the exact right thing to do? Because that was Astrobot. Like, Astrobot, freaking amazing. I mean,
most FromSoft games are like that, except for Armored Core. Armored Core is fairly tutorialized. But
don't
Elden Ring, it just kind of drops you in, and it's just like, hey, get good.
I don't think you can do that with Monster Hunter, and I really don't think it holds your hand too much in the early bit because everything is needed. And I love the little like endemic life sides and stuff. Like, I mean, obviously the guy being like, I know where to get honey. Like, I'm like, yeah, you know, we got to do this. You know, you got to teach me how to get honey. I get that. You know,
Yeah. So there it is. I seriously, I don't think it's that bad, says the guy who just spent 25 minutes talking about things that aren't working for him. But it's not that important to me because I know high rank's just around the corner. I'm gonna have a good time.
I just love that. I love that our modern fantasy, like maybe we're moving away from the Pixar kind of open the psychology book. Our modern fantasy is dinner with elderly. Like that is what the kids want. They want a nice, respectable sit-down dinner where we have some real-ass food with no high fructose corn syrup. And maybe we don't have to kill the cow ourselves, but we kind of like to know where it came from. And that at the end of the day is a fine development in video gaming. The food tech is excellent, and I'm really enjoying that. And I love the skin textures. Holy shit, they mean so much to me. Like I freaking love freckles. Freckles are so freaking cute. And just like, if you're sweating all day wielding a giant freaking hammer, you might have a blemish on your cheek. Like, hell yeah. Like, oh, freaking modern skin. Let's go. I love it. Absolutely love it.
So, except the one lady who runs the forge looks like an AI model ad.
Oh, you're talking about in Firetown?
She should be a little sweaty or maybe have a little soot on her face, but she looks like a Sephora model.
I mean, I don't know.
But everyone else looks like rightfully a level of distress for their position in this world.
She looks like my sister, so I can't help you. Like that is my sister. She is 6'3", built, and perfect. And that's just how she
always
rolls.
Put together,
just
regardless
always
of
100% on. And so I just saw her. I was like, yeah, that's my sister. That's a type. Yep, moving on.
No, not
me.
Gemma. No, the lady when you get to Forge Town, like the second zone you get to.
Yeah, the one in Cahoots. They have I don't know their political structure, but yeah, she's in charge of helping the fire festival go off, which again is like a weird. A weird like my subs and dubs brain got so tricked here because I was like a festival. Festivals are for fun. Oh, I like festivals. We're gonna sing and dance and have a jolly time. And then they're like, we did it. We made a shit ton of money. Yay! And I'm like, wait, what? What? I got duped. I've been tricked. I thought I was helping you guys like have a jolly time. Like the children were gonna be laughing in the streets, not profiting. But more traditional, like like a harvest festival. Oh, it was a harvest. Okay, I get it. I see. Maybe festival was the wrong word there because in America,
I am going to remain neutral as I feel I have nitpicked the story enough.
I felt like it should have been.
I am on complaint cooldown.
maybe a market, maybe like a summer market. Might have been right.
Anyway. Yeah, I just thought I was like, everyone else is like soot, and she just looks like she walked right out of the Ulta.
She's got full foot on everybody, man. The soot's hovering lower. She's just moving. Also, I mean, if it is my sister, like she hit up a mirror before she walked out. Like she was like, okay, good. I got to meet people.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
all right.
Did not bother me.
Why not? Well, wonderful. I'm really excited to get the high rank, and I hope we get there today. And if we don't, here's my rules to you, Kyle. I'm putting the gauntlet down.
Okay.
If you get stuck on any long Kyle weirdisms that I will let you have, you're allowed to have them. You can take as much time to get weird as you do. You've been having these things. You've been having these moments where you F off to your tent and you talk to yourself for like 15 minutes. Doing I don't know what.
Well, have you not been in the tent and watched the kitty?
Let me finish.
Okay.
Let me finish.
Okay.
All right. And you're allowed to have it. I will be your friend. But today, this is it. This is as far as I can be your friend. If we don't finish the story today, I am going to skip the high rank.
I'm not responsible for that.
Because I want to farm monsters this weekend in my free time. And if I don't get there, I'm going to do it without you.
Oh.
So if I feel we have not seen credits today because of Kyle Tent Time.
Oh my God, you're World of Warcrafting me. Wow. Okay.
I am just going to go get to high rank because I feel I will become an insufferably negative person if I don't get to start playing the Monster Hunter that I want to play.
Oh, geez. Oh, God. We're Diabloing this where Kyle's walking through empty rooms his entire gameplay session because Garrett won't stop dashing. I will do my best. However, the tent is charming as hell. And
it is.
This is a kitty.
It's wonderful.
You do little games with your kitty.
I don't. It's a new system that I don't feel the game really needs, which is the pop-up camps. However, I love the degree of customization you have on your pop-up your pop-up camp. They're so charming and fun. But no, this isn't Bro Wars. No, Chad, this is not Bro Wars. We've had many closer run-ins with Bro Wars. Chad's yelling Bro Wars right now. No. This is just me letting you know, or I'm drawing the line for my own enjoyment. I have played now.
Wait, hang on. Wait.
And become obsessed with 3 games because of you. And I have given a lot of patience to laborious, over-explained writing that could have been shortened for better narrative experiences. So I'm getting to high rank this weekend, come hell or high water.
Okay, I'm allowed to watch cutscenes, right? Like I can still watch cutscenes?
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
okay.
Go for it.
because when I look over and I'm in a cutscene and you're like crafting and you're like checking out the new armor, I'm like, oh shit, when this cutscene's over, I want to go check out the new armor. Like, so I'll just like I'll not f around with my cat, and I'll try not to like talk to random people. But can I still look at the armors when I get done with the cutscene? Or
yes.
is my cutscene taking
go
up?
left? Go left. Look at all the armor. Quickly see if you can even make any of it, and then move on.
Okay. All right.
Because if you're sitting there reading things you can't make and you're not about to go grind for, my brain goes, I want to hunt. I want to hunt. I want to hunt. I want to hunt.
Dress up, you know, like a suit doesn't give you any bonuses outside of charisma.
Chat is saying, someone in chat went by and said it's not bro force, it's bro boundaries.
Okay.
And I'm putting down some boundaries.
Okay,
yeah, that's
all right.
it.
That's fair. No, that's fair. Because
I am becoming unevenly annoyed with the story because I'm spending longer than a normal person would spend with it.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think
so. Let's talk about something that's not controversial at all, which is Yoshi P being totally fired, and if the internet is to be believed, because Dawn Trail is woke.
Oh, perfect. Well, I see. I see. Okay, excellent.
Yes.
Give me the rundown.
Yes. While we were gone.
Wait, a timer. Chat's right. I'll put up a timer. How long can I have to look at armor? I could totally do a timer. I got the snaz. I got the plugins. You know.
Oh, 5 minutes sounds good.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Okay. Cool.
Let's do 5 minutes.
All right. Excellent. Okay. Cool. Anyway,
let's do 5 minutes. Just know, I'll give you that 5 minutes, and if we don't see credits, I'm still just gonna go beat the damn game.
All right. So very important, absolutely true news. Let's do this.
Yeah. While we were gone, we were barely on our phones. I came back to so many Discord DMs. I am so sorry if I missed it. We were traveling. It's very difficult to stay on top of things. But I say that to let you know how much the rumblings of what we were about to talk about made it through even my busy barrier, my barrier of busyness. There was an update to Square Enix's board of directors. If you're out of the loop on Final Fantasy XIV, the head of the game Final Fantasy XIV, the developer known as Yoshi P, was on Square Enix's board of directors. And there was a press release that went out, and there's been a change on the board of directors, and Yoshi P is no longer on the board of directors. And I believe people cared because if you read this information on social media and for some reason clicked on the comments below, which why would you ever do that to yourself? But you would see tons of disturbed individuals cheering for what they saw as the firing of someone responsible for something that they don't like.
All right. Yeah, of course.
Which is sadly becoming commonplace in gaming culture. Been a lot of layoffs in the gaming industry lately, and there have been culture warriors in the comments cheering for people losing their jobs, which I think is disgusting, bordering on mentally unhinged. I think that's really awful, and I think you're a garbage person if you're cheering for that.
Continue.
Yes. And so that's why I believe that there was any like emotional investment in this news, because as is so often the case, the actual news is horribly dull and boring. So, yeah. So, all right, Kyle, are you ready for facts instead of emotional?
Give me facts.
Instead of emotional reaction.
Give me straight facts, Doc.
Who can't stand games that aren't just jiggly physics in your face at all times.
What?
All right.
What?
I'm giving you facts instead of people who are angry because they just need everything to be porn.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, because their sense of arousal is so integral to their distraction.
Yes. Enjoyment of anything, apparently. Yes, of course.
I don't want to be horny anymore. I just wish to be happy.
Exactly. So, I would like to recommend everyone go and read a Games Radar article about this, because there's a piece by Ashley Barden titled Final Fantasy XIV's Yoshi P quietly removed from Square Enix's board after years of wanting out. Quote, "It's much more fun to just make games." That's the long title. Quite a long title. It almost looks like an Amazon listing, but I think Barden has my favorite piece that I've read out there, because there's a lot of facts in it, and they got a follow-up statement from Square Enix, which I didn't see any other news coverage of this that actually got a response by Square Enix. So go check that out. It's on Games Radar. Games Radar got an update statement from Square Enix confirming that Yoshida-san will resign after general shareholders meetings and the board of directors meeting, both of which are scheduled for May. That's a direct response from Square Enix. Games Radar went on to write that until then, he will continue to serve on the board of directors. After, he'll maintain his position as an executive officer and will also join the executive management committee, which I believe is a new committee starting April 1st, or at least a new appointment for Yoshi P. Also, I guess when this first broke, there was a lot of misreporting that he was no longer the producer of Final Fantasy XIV, which is inaccurate.
Oh, yeah.
His position within Final Fantasy XIV isn't changing at all.
Oh, I didn't see that at all. Okay, that's jumping the gun a bit.
I went digging. I went to go to the subreddit, which I was cautious because I assumed there'd be a lot of nonsense over there. But both 14 subreddits that I went to, which is the main Final Fantasy XIV subreddit and the Final Fantasy XIV discussion subreddit, I gotta give them props. I shit on Reddit all the time. We had some really bad experiences with Reddit in the early days of us creating content. The two most upvoted threads that had the most comments that I found were really even keel in the comments below. And that's where I found this. I guess one of the first posts to hit the Final Fantasy XIV subreddit had worded it in a way that made it sound like Yoshi P was no longer working on Final Fantasy XIV. And so the comments in there were like, yeah, that's maybe adjust the wording there. And then there were updates, and they self-policed, I think, really well.
Nice.
It's a good job, y'all.
All right.
You're chipping away at my extremely negative opinion of that platform. But yeah, no, I got to give them props, because it helped me kind of very quickly gauge the history of what we missed when this news broke earlier last week. So yeah. And then this is a good piece. I think you should go read the Games Radar piece, because they also mentioned that in a 2023 interview, Yoshi P mentioned wanting to quit the board, but inevitably did not. And a lot of this comes out of an official executive structure press release that Square put out on February 27th that you can just go read yourself right now, which mentions that the board of directors was cut in half. It looks like it's going from 8 members down to 4. So for folks who are like culture warring this, is like, yeah, Don Trill bad, Yoshi P deserves this. It's like, it also just seems like, well, what about the other people that are on the board?
Also making a new executive management position where the executive managers can manage sounds pretty good when it's not tied directly to the board, but I am not a corporate person. And this all just seems like shuffling to keep it fresh. Changing out the logo at McDonald's, we got to curve that M a little more, because it's, I don't know, because a year passed. People need something new.
Yeah. And Malagor and others are pointing out in chat, and I agree with this take. It does just seem to be very straightforward, extremely dull corporate restructuring. There's a new CEO in town. Take the pieces, move them around. This is me being a bit cynical here. Make changes to justify your existence as CEO.
Yeah, make a bunch of changes, and then when you change jobs in 3 years, you can say you made all these fabulous changes because whatever success was yours, and you don't have to own it if it was bad, because, hey, you're just going to get hired by the next company anyway. So, woo, nice restructure, bro.
What are you going to do? Come in and keep everything the same?
That'd be lame.
How will people think that you should be there?
You must reorganize.
You must make changes. That's usually how I kind of look at these things.
Are you really a parent-in-law if you don't reorganize their kitchen while you're over?
This is why I love my parents. They don't touch anything in my kitchen. It's great.
Exactly,
it's wonderful.
Exactly. But they're not management materials. Yeah.
Thanks, Mom and Dad. You take that back.
That won't go big on the board next week. The report will not like that.
I'm going to tell my parents. There's
no upward momentum in the Wines Earl house. Executive mother and father.
Okay. All right. Wonderful. I also just want to give a shout out to a comment over on the FF14 discussion subreddit from Baby Electronic that wrote, FF14 is doomed. Yoshi P fired from his position. Insert picture of Catgirl pointing at a sad Yoshida PNG with a shocked expression.
Oh my goodness.
Also to our clips editor, who will probably put this on the clips channel, could you make that thumbnail like to a T? Could you make that the thumbnail for this clip? Like, I would find that very amusing.
Man, I would be so exhausted if everything I said was taken so literally. I feel for the man in that way. Like, just at one time, he's like, I really do prefer orange juice in the morning. And then he has to have orange juice every morning for the rest of his life. Like, a lot of people are saying that he never wanted to be there. He just wants to make games. I think that's true. But also, it must be exhausting to have something you said once lorded over you. So congratulations to Yoshi P for being off that board. But also, it probably wasn't that big of a deal. And nothing's really changed because he's got to do this new thing, which is probably the exact same. It
boggles the mind that anyone would begin to care in this way about the corporate structure of the parent company of the game that you play. It's very weird. And it's like drama for the sake of drama from randos on the internet with an axe to grind. And it's very exhausting. I don't want to look up these facts. I don't want to look this up. This is boring. This is boring to look facts. Up. Even more boring to read and disappointing to find out why anyone cared in the first place.
Yeah, it's pretty lame. It's lame news.
As your two internet dads, we are disappointed in you, internet. Be better. Stop cheering for people losing their jobs, which in this case is just factually incorrect.
Yeah.
This man is still gainfully employed.
Organization.
Rethink your life if you cheer for people losing jobs.
I'm
so tired. I'm so tired of the state of the world, dude.
Well, at least we'll have high rank together. And at some point, Iceborne, because I'm still really enjoying World.
World is great, man. Yeah. I want to, and right now, I can just go and do the thing that I want to do, which is just hunt. So like World is calling me. I'm like, oh, I don't have to hear about Wyvern milk. I can just hunt. I want to go back to World.
Yeah. It's a decent excuse. Fun enough. I like the Guardian thing. We never got to Tempered, but I don't know what was going on there.
Yeah. Just so anything thinks it's super. Call it a nothing burger. Turned out to be a nothing burger. Really hate that certain people are using it to boost their hate. Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, it's just a reality of the world we live in. Which is why we all got to find our ways to deal with this kind of dumbassery in our own way. And my way is I'm going to go find the actual facts so that I can gauge just how stupid the discourse actually is. And in this case, I would give it a stupid rating of 9 out of 10.
Can I share some personal trauma, which has been brought up by this week of this dumb news?
Kyle, grinding gear is nothing but you and I unloading our personal trauma for all to see.
Remember when I was
go right ahead?
Remember I was part of that jury for 2 weeks, when I had jury duty?
God.
Remember that?
Jesus. I know where this is going. And
for some reason, she must have been 60. One of the lawyers, as their final defense, stands up in front of the courtroom and says, or is this just a nothing burger? In court, uses the phrase nothing burger. And I am disturbed anytime that phrase is used to this day, because it was used in that particular trial as a way to dismiss what had happened for the defense. By the way, I got jury duty again.
That's where I thought this was going. Kyle came home from Wyoming to a jury summons.
Yeah, my fourth one in 4 years. Kristen's gotten 2. And I can't get out of this one because there are restrictions for having served are local, and they don't care that I served 2 years ago in Portland. So yeah, I'm gonna be going back. Gotta go back to jury duty. They need my responsible level head, apparently.
It's so unfair. It also I truly believe it disproportionately affects self-employed people. Because when you have a more traditional job with like a position that you can point to, it's very easy to make a case for I am the only person that can do this role, and it would be majorly disruptive to my job for me to be gone. And they just don't really give a shit when you're your own business.
No, because can you do that work in the evening? Okay, good. Moving, and it's like, well, so the hardship is hard to claim in that department. Also, I'm just an attentive person. I'm like my poor Palico. If you're up there standing, I have an autopilot that is smiling, nodding, and like I'm thinking about, I don't really care about this, but what if I pretended I was someone who did? I bet they'd find that pretty interesting. I'm a very, I'm a curious person.
Well, good job, because that's going to keep getting you selected on the jury.
I did. How does Sarasota know that? Like, how do they know? How does the state of Florida?
When you go in for your first meeting and you're anything short of not having a pulse, they're going to be like, cool, you're on. And I'm just going to say, man, you've done your civic duty. You do not need to show up with bells on this next time.
Well, we got some very cool stuff coming up. When we announce that, know that the original jury duty was on the day that cool thing's supposed to start, and I've deferred it down the road a bit.
We have a noteworthy collaboration coming up, and the first date of this ongoing collaboration.
Got sweet jury duty.
When you were supposed to show up for jury duty. So, at a bare minimum, at least you're able to.
Why do they want us?
It.
Why? And Kristen too, twice already since we moved here. Like, I mean, at least they have a the exempt because I have young kids on there. Oh my goodness, it's crazy.
Dear God Almighty. Anywho, I think that brings us to the end of this edition of the GG podcast.
Perfect.
Stick around, say hi to chat for a little bit afterwards. But for now, we want to thank anyone supporting us very, very much. We really appreciate it. We're still in the doldrums where that Patreon line just goes down. It's the beginning of the year.
Absolutely.
This happens every year. It's a little rougher this year, if I'm being honest. So if you like what we do and you want to support us, please go check out supportourbromance.com. It'll take you directly to our Patreon. And just S. And David Zane Aarons, thank you for heading over there and signing up and becoming patrons.
Thank you both.
I believe one of you was following for free and became a paid patron, and we really appreciate you for doing that.
Appreciate you.
And of course, there's a special level of patron that we thank each and every episode. Those are our legendary level backers. So Sean B, Cheesy Bob, Chris K, Lost Mythics, Zervon, Compsci Jedi, Pothy P, Bloodsy Von, Snugglegore, Avane, Shinny Geo, Nicholas C, Thalm, Jerry T, Sean and Jen, Vernacular Ham, Brahm, and Vasilius. Thank you for your generous support of Kyle and me. We used to call this level producers back when we did Into the Nexus, and I still think of you that way because you really help keep the lights on, and we appreciate you.
Thank you.
Outside of that, you know it, you love it. Doghouse Systems. We use their gaming PCs. Check out doghousesystems.com. Use the code BROMANCE. You'll get yourself a 1 terabyte NVMe SSD for your trouble, and you'll support Kyle and me in the process. And that's doghousesystems.com. Use the code BROMANCE. We thank them for their support. And you can follow us on social media. Kyle is at Kyle Ferguson on Twitter. I'm at Garrett Art. I'm also Garrett Art on Blue Sky. Kyle barely uses social media as it is, so you can only find him on Twitter.
I manage a Discord, and it keeps me social enough. Join the Discord. The Discord.
We have many wonderful mods that also help.
Well, yeah, but
no one helps manage my Twitter. It's just me yelling at clouds.
Well, when I got on there and posted a picture over your shoulder, unbeknownst to you, that you were playing Vampire Survivors on my Steam Deck. That's content. I post content.
You posted a picture?
I post content in the Discord.
That should
all
be
the time.
on Twitter. Because I tweeted about it, and then I could have retweeted it, and then I would have had this lovely little photo that I didn't even know existed. The Discord, it just gets lost.
But
I love Discord, but it's very bad for finding things.
Oh,
again.
sure. But, I don't want, it's just, I don't need somebody showing up and being like, should have tried it 3 years ago. Because in Discord, I'll be like, how did you get here? But on Twitter, I'm
it's
like,
fun now. It's fun now because we have people in our corner. That comment will happen, and then someone else will come in and be like,
that's a good
shut
point.
The fuck up, let them enjoy themselves.
I did quit before I had people in my corner. That is true. That is a good point. So you got me there. All right, counter.
And if you're in our corner, thank you. And if you're in our corner, despite the fact that I think Wyvern milk is silly, thank you extra. All right, everybody. That's the end of the official podcast. GG.
Oh, take care.
Kyle forgetting how to podcast. Chat, I can interact freely now.
What's on your mind?
Sorry, we caught some supers. I really appreciate the support, but not all of them were on topic to what we were discussing in the moment. I didn't want a hard jackknife turn into another discussion.
It happens.
Despite how much I very much appreciate the support, beginning with Bellarisha, wishing us a good morning. Happy day. Even my old self, have been loving Monster Hunter Wilds. I do. So enjoy you too. We enjoy you, Bellarisha.
We will, man. I freaking love it. It's really fun. It's super fun. It's fun seeing TV ads for it too. Like it's just kind of everywhere, and it's fun to be part of something that's just kind of everywhere.
I saw so many ads for it on hotel TV in Wyoming because I'm not really exposed to ads anymore.
No.
Yeah, tell us the collab. No, can't yet.
Nope.
Soon.
Very soon.
It's getting closer.
Yep.
It's getting closer. Y'all are not ready. Let me tell you, you're not ready. Rogue Mage, thanks for the super. High altitude air is still 21% oxygen. There's just less of it. Like when you buy whipped butter that weighs less than regular butter. The butter is still 100% butter. There's just less of it.
Oh, sure. That makes sense.
Well, then what is Google telling us?
Well, like air doesn't change its consistency, but it does. I see what they're saying. So what Google was telling us was a approximation of how much you were losing, though really like the air doesn't remix itself and change structure just because it's higher up.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I need to set expectations. Because Kevin B wrote Yoshi P collab. This is why he left the board. Maybe don't get that level of excited.
Yeah, above standard levels of excited.
Below Yoshi P is joining Grinding Gear levels of excited. Oh my God. Oh, Pothy, this was a really generous super. Thank you for it. Said we don't politic around these parts, but wishing my fellow federal employees on both sides of the aisle that the odds be in your favor. Also proud of you too for the speech invite and the success of branching out of 14. Love you all, Gearbox.
Thanks for saying so.
Is there even more going on other than, or are we just talking about the general concern about federal layoffs that has been ongoing? Is there, oh God, I'm afraid to even type this in. Oh, sure enough. Oh, God. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, best of luck, everybody. I'm worried for the Postal Service, like legitimately. And not to get... saying I like the Postal Service shouldn't be a political statement.
What?
But I believe it is.
What? Wait, what? Okay. You don't need to...
There's been talks.
You don't need to explain.
I'm concerned.
But yeah,
I am concerned.
It seems like I like the Postal Service. You know, that wonderful invention that we all kind of like respect as a time period in time where we were allowed to communicate with each other. I think it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay to like the Postal Service.
Yeah. That's the thing. We have a lovely friend by the name of Justin Robert Young who does, I think, a really well put together politics podcast called Politics that I keep up with because he doesn't really weigh in on who he thinks is right, who he thinks is wrong. It's more about like who's playing the political game correctly. And he just tries to tell you who's going to be in charge next. And I think he does a pretty good job covering it that way. And it makes it sane for me to stay kind of tapped in. And since the last election, he talks about it at the speed at which you need to worry about things. Just like, and that's just, if nothing else, that's where I'm just so winded right now because things get thrown out and you just don't know whether it matters or not. and I don't like it. I didn't miss it. It's back, and I'm exhausted. That's where I'm at.
And thank you for being my friend who knows things. I appreciate you, Garrett.
I try. Yeah. Not fun most days.
Because, I'm dealing with, the taco shell broke in half, and it's the worst thing that ever happened to a poor, 2-year-old. So I can't keep up with things right now.
But
I know you got my back.
The best sales pitch for having a child I've ever heard.
I can't be thinking about other things because this taco is the worst thing that's ever happened to them. And I got to be committed. I got to be 100% there for that taco.
I'm going to get political adjacent for just a moment. Because I'm going to say you're doing it right. And I'm not going to say like being a parent is doing it right. It's finding your happiness. Because a lot of people are concerned, and when you don't agree with things politically, particularly if you were active on social media, I think it's very easy to want to just be on all the time, resisting publicly in text, and because of that, staying hyper informed. And I think that's really good. I am not advocating for putting your head in the sand. What I am advocating for is living well, because it's a tired phrase. But living well is very much the best revenge. And it's also going to keep you healthy. If you spend too much time worrying about things, you run the risk of physically making yourself ill because you're horribly stressed out, and it's going to snowball in ways that you may or may not expect, up to and including affecting your sleep, which affects your health, which is going to get you sick more. And if you aren't happy with the way things are going and you want to fight it, you need to take care of yourself first. And I see a lot of people who I'm concerned about because it doesn't seem like they're taking care of themselves first. I think they're worrying themselves sick, and I understand how you can get there. But you're an example, I feel like, of someone who your specific example might be focus on parenting. But I think a lot of people out there can find that example for themselves, even if they're not parents. Find something that makes you happy. Take personal time for yourself, enrich yourself, read a book, lose yourself in a hobby, take care of a loved one, whatever you can do. Because, oh man, I see some stressed out people out there. And I'm stressed out too. But the people who might be making you angry, they're living well. And boy, would it piss them off if you did too. So that's my little advice for you today. Everybody.
Yeah, man. Like, hell, dude. Hell yeah, man. Yeah. Hell, man. Yeah. Well said. Well frickin' said. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. Wildly shifting gears here. Kura, thanks for the super. Wild Story is basically Endwalker Light. Boy, do I disagree.
Medion had no genitals? What? Where's the, I think I can make some connections. But, oh, okay. All right.
Interesting.
What are you lost in?
Yeah. Tathana in chat right now saying Patreon link has been tampered with. Yeah, I'm not sure tampered because it's going to /ITN, which was our old Patreon that has been working for years. And it would appear that someone else now has patreon.com/ITN. Huh. That's very curious.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, so that's not us.
No.
That might explain why we haven't been getting very many new patrons.
Because support our bromance. Yeah. We used to. Because we're on the other link, but we still had that other link too. Because we had 2 links. Okay. Yeah. Well, supportourbromance.com needs an update.
Logging into my domain management.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's weird.
To see what's going on with that. Did I not update it to go to patreon.com/Garrett and Kyle? I do know that there's a pretty generous grace period when you change your URL on Patreon, where they will continue sending your old URL to your current channel. All right, let's see. For this domain, no, that's not what I need to change. Huh. I will take a look at this later. Thank you for letting me know. I really appreciate that, because and it doesn't. I don't think it's malicious. It seems like maybe I just always had it pointed to /ITN, and Patreon finally gave up that URL and let someone else grab it.
Yeah, that sounds like it.
So,
like having an old WoW character that you haven't played in long enough.
Yeah, so I wouldn't call this full on malicious yet, because if it's taking you to Patreon, like, that's still pretty safe. Like it's not the page you should go to, but at least it's still on Patreon.
Yeah, we are Garrett and Kyle. No, this is
yeah, I wonder how long it's been like that too, Jack. I'm not sure. Huh. Interesting. Why are we talking about Medion's genitals? AO3, that's why.
Yeah.
Malmuki got Wilk.
It's so practical. It's just not like that's how things happen in history, you know? Like you end up like a phrase develops because something gets shortened and shortened and shortened. And it's extremely realistic, but it's also very dumb and laughable. And that, the Wilk thing is pretty dumb.
Yeah. Sorry, just also replying in Discord, because now I'm getting tagged in there too. Just letting them know I got eyes on.
I got it. Yeah, crazy stuff.
Eka said Garrett demands blood. I mean, that's pretty much the duality of my Wilds experience right there, which is Malmuki saying got Wilk and Eka saying Garrett demands blood.
I mean, he literally wants blood. Not from like the community discourse, but from the monsters. And sometimes you need it. You need dragon blood to make that Nergigante set. I get it.
Yeah. Oh, my word. Eric, super, just tell them that you'll know if they're guilty based on the theme music that plays when they enter the room. There you go, Kyle. The 30 Rock strategy. Show up dressed like Princess Leia.
I know. I don't want to lie. I mean, I will legit, like, I will tell them, like, I'm a dad, not this personal case I do not want to be a part of. Like, that's no problem, because that ain't a lie. But, seeing people be like, and like look at their shoes the whole time and pretend to be all, and you're like, you bastard. I hear you listening. See you listening.
Well, stop trying so hard.
I'm not trying. My autopilot is engaged.
You're an introvert.
Person.
Turn that on.
It doesn't work that way. I recharge.
Give into your introvert tendencies.
I recharge when I'm alone, but when I'm with people, I'm interested. That's the introvert part. All right, where you recharge.
Hey, what's the date? What's the date that you go in now?
The new one? Oh, we'll see.
Oh,
but
well, let me know as soon
as June.
Let me know as soon as you can.
Okay.
Because the night before, I'm going to give every one of your children as much candy as I possibly can.
So I just fall asleep in court?
Yes. Yes. That's exactly. Every one of your children are going to get a Red Bull. Yeah, they will be passed out. And also, they will be provided with the loudest toy I can find.
Well.
Yeah. Don't worry. I will, if
make sure
if you won't figure it out, I'll figure it out. Jorm, thanks for the super. I said I try to remind myself just how many people there are in the U.S. and the world. Even 1 million people saying something is only a fraction of a percent of the U.S. population. Yes, that is a difficult thing to keep in mind when you are part of really any fandom. Something we try to bring up every once in a while, which is just like, hey, whatever the popular opinion is, it's still just the popular opinion of the small percentage of people who actually even discuss this shit online.
Yes, who are also online in the city of the internet.
That's why I wish more I pretty much. I wish every game platform was like Steam, where you could just see the stats. That the stats were just there for you to look at officially from the source, as opposed to trying to divine things from third-party websites. You know, because really it's just a numbers game at the end of the day to find out if people think something is good or bad when it comes to games. It's just, and a lot of times too, because people run afoul of this on Steam, they'll be like, oh, game has massive fall off in concurrent player numbers. You need to look at it, and if it's like single players, like, yeah, dumbass, because they're done playing the game.
Yeah, they finished playing it.
That's a thing that happens regularly.
Yeah.
But I do prefer having official source numbers. And unfortunately, at least in the realm of MMOs, I don't think we're ever going to have that again. You know, World of Warcraft gave us official numbers when they were growing exponentially, and that's just not going to happen anymore. And so we don't get that anymore.
Which seems kind of unfair. You know, it'd be nice to know those numbers, not to make a bunch of drama articles about, but just to like, you know, like a city population. You know, like it's kind of just a thing that should be known.
Yes. Yes. Gumman Gray, thanks for super said. I mean, it would be very disruptive to my life if Kyle was gone. You can tell them that.
Okay, excellent. So yeah. The hardship to the audience is too high, Your Honor.
Yes. However, it would be wonderful for everyone who's wondering when the shit I'm going to play more Metaphor.
Yeah, you could schedule quite a few. I mean, they said the average trial's 4 days long, and I was in there for 2 weeks. So, you know, maybe I'll get a short one.
Sucrose, thanks for the 21 months. Said, okay, so what if I get this level of excited? 21 months level of excited. I think that's appropriate.
Yeah. 21 months is that's definitely appropriate. Yeah.
I think this collab will make you excited enough to stick around for a proper, 24-month, a 2-year celebration.
There we go.
That's I think it's 24-month worthy.
That's absolutely true.
Yeah. Perlescent, thanks for the super long time no chat. How's it going? While y'all been monster hunting, I have been training in the art of real life pictomancy. Ooh. You've been training in the art of art?
Yeah, well done. Art's fun.
Congrats, Perlescent. Keep with it. We were in the University of Wyoming like student store. What do you call that?
There's a name for that. Student store.
University shop.
The Union shop or something like that.
Yeah. They had a huge art section because I guess they do have art majors at the University of Wyoming, which I guess I wasn't expecting because like a lot, when you pull up their website, a lot of the focus is on their school of engineering. I guess they have a very good engineering school at UW. Oh man, it took me back and I was just like, shit, I miss oil painting. Oh my God, I miss oil painting. If I could have an extra 12 hours a week right now, I think I would spend it oil painting.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah.
Jasoini supered, only half paying attention. What? Koji Fox is coming on the GG podcast.
That's a little low. That's like a 50 month. True. That's like a 50-month expectation. We need to bring that back. You need to bring that back to around the 22-month expectations.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Ilmix said the only way I've been able to take my mind off the world is to start IRL barding again in concert band trombone.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
You have to feed your soul. You cannot just feed your brain information. You got to feed your soul. You got to do it. Kevin B became a member during all of this. Oh my God. Oh my God. We've been like getting real and like talking lightly about politics, and you became a member during all of that. Thank you.
Hell yeah.
Oh no, Kyle. We're going to talk. No.
There's
political creators. You should go follow them. I recommend Justin Robert Young.
Justin does a great job.
Yeah. Shout out to the Politics podcast. Ilmix also double supered and said it was posted in Discord first. You're welcome. Well, thank you for letting me know, Ilmix. I will get that taken care of. It should be. It doesn't look like it's a hack. I think it's just a simple forwarding issue. And then Rogue Mage supered. Speaking of small child tantrums, my 4-year-old was very upset. I told her vaccines were a shot in the butt. But they stuck it in her thigh instead. Oh,
yeah,
ow!
Yeah, see, that's the problem. You gave details, right? Like it's amazing how much parenting strategy is being incredibly vague.
I think I'd rather have it in the ass.
Well, like, what really just crazy sweet thing that happened on our trip was they took us by the Union store and they're like, "Kyle, you pick out clothes for the kids because they're gonna want to like it when you go on trips." So I got like a full set of clothes for the kiddos, and when I got home, I said, "Oh, I brought home clothes for you." I didn't say I have a surprise because that would go terribly wrong. I didn't say I have a gift for you because that's toys. But I said, oh, I have some clothes for you. Expectation set. No problem. No problem.
I got just some sick new threads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you just gotta, you gotta be vague with the children. Sucks.
I feel like you just explained that you gotta not be vague with the children.
Well, it depends. You know, like both at different times, right? You're like, yeah, no one likes shots though. That's rough.
Well, we should probably go and post this because I need to have lunch before we go live in an hour.
Yep, we're gonna do that. We're gonna be live at whoa, let me go. I can do the thing. I'll press the button, so you'll all be taken straight there here. And
oh my god, Zico.
I'll give you. What's going on? What's happening?
Zico, that's far too generous.
Oh,
it's far too generous. Oh, wow. And we do need it. We need to just finish Space Marine 2. We need to find a random day with maybe nothing going on. Doesn't happen anymore. We need to force to have a random day with nothing going on and finish Space Marine 2.
With yeah, I do just want to beat it because it's fun. It is a fun game.
Also, Zico, like I appreciate the support, but save your money. You got to buy minis.
Yeah,
I have purchased enough Warhammer figures to know that for some of them, 50 isn't even enough. 50 isn't even enough for some stuff. Yeah, but thank you, Zico. I can promise you it will happen because we both want it to happen.
Yeah, this is
where we both enjoyed our time with it, and I can promise it will happen. I just can't promise when. So.
Same with Alien Isolation too. Like that is just it's on the list like Control was. It will happen.
Yeah. Age of Sigmar minis, anyone? Eladoth, you're in a really good company with Katie. That's like all she paints.
They're super fun, no matter what.
She loves her.
Whatever
she loves her Sigmar. Yeah. Yeah. She wants me to make her a new painting desk, which I really should probably get on. I should probably do that. She saw the desktop making in here, and she's like, "Oh, I want one of those now." And I'm like, "Oh God, butcher block is heavy."
Well, we're gonna be here in just an hour. You'll be redirected. Stay right here. You'll find that stream, no problem. Give it a like while you're there, and we'll see you in an hour.
See you then, everybody.
Bye, everybody.